Eddie Fiola's Gary Pollock's factOrFreestyle Playbill, preparing yourself to enjoy the Season 5 premiere. Presented by the Terradome Sports Science Research Center. Autograph page, sponsor message. Throughout the first 4 seasons of factOrFreestyle, Dave has constantly tried to rein in Joe's over-the-top antics. This has been manufactured drama. Dave is extremely over-the-top by nature. This personality dynamic creates the show's signature zany style of comedic storytelling. What precisely does zany mean, you ask? That question is highly advanced. Pat yourself on the back for being an evolved individual. Until now, that question has been unanswerable. What is different now, you ask? Again, good thinking, Lincoln. What's different now is that generative artificial intelligence, Gen AI for short, is available on everyone's phones and can construct a succinct explanation of the zany style of storytelling. So zany antics are those wild, goofy, over-the-top actions you see in comedies that make you laugh your head off. Think of people slipping on banana peels, pulling crazy pranks, or acting totally nuts in a funny way. The origin of this stuff goes way back, and I'm going to break it down for you like it's a story from history class, but way more fun. Back in ancient times, like in Greece around 400 BCE, people loved watching plays. They had these funny ones called comedies, where actors would do silly things to make the crowd crack up. These weren't super zany yet, but they laid the groundwork with goofy characters and wild situations. Fast forward to the Middle Ages in Europe, around the 1300s, and you get these traveling performers called jesters or fools. These dudes would juggle, tell dumb jokes, and act all crazy to entertain kings and peasants. They were like the OGs of zany because they'd do anything for a laugh, like pretending to trip or making fart noises, yep, even back then. Now let's zoom to the 1500s in Italy, where this thing called commedia dell'arte popped off. It was like a street show with actors wearing masks, playing the same wacky characters every time, like a sneaky servant or a greedy old man. But these guys didn't just follow a script, they'd improvise and do nutty stuff like chase each other around, fall over or throw fake punches. This is when zany antics really started to shine, because the actors had to be loud and extra to keep the audience hyped. By the 1800s, zany got a big boost with vaudeville shows in America. These were like variety shows with singers, dancers, and boom comedians doing slapstick. Slapstick is when people pretend to get hurt or do clumsy stuff, like getting hit with a pie or falling off a ladder. It was all about being super physical and ridiculous, and people ate it up. This led to early movies in the 1900s with stars like Charlie Chaplin and the Keystone Cops, who were masters of running around like maniacs, crashing into stuff, and making everything look hilariously chaotic. So why is it called zany? The word comes from those Italian commedia days. There was a character type called Zanni, a goofy servant who was always messing things up in a funny way. Over time, zany became the word for anything wild and comical. By the time TV and cartoons came around, like Looney Tunes in the 1940s, zany antics were everywhere. Think Bugs Bunny pulling pranks or Daffy Duck getting squashed by an anvil. In short, zany antics started with silly plays, grew with crazy jesters and street actors, and explode with slapstick in shows and movies. It's all about being bold, physical, and totally absurd to make people laugh. And it's been around forever, because let's be real, who doesn't love a good goof? factOrFreestyle is a zany comedy about the history of BMX that affects BMX culture to this very day. Admittedly, the show has had its ups and downs. Some episodes were so scattered and boring that Joe took them down. But that's all behind us now. Season 5 is a different format than any other BMX show. Now you know what's up and what to expect. See you on 420. By the way, that's a triple entendre, which is NBD and BMX. factOrFreestyle is brought to you in large part by Flatland Assassins.